41,000. That's the number of traders who were liquidated overnight in just one recent market shock. While most of us were sleeping, their accounts were just erased. Now, this wasn't just a market event. It was a pretty brutal lesson in finance, and it's a number that really forces us to ask, what separates the people who get wiped out from those who see these exact same moments as an opportunity?
And that, right there, is the lesson that was burned into the accounts of those 41,000 traders. It is the core principle we are going to unpack today. Because in the world of finance, and, frankly in life too, the cost of reacting emotionally is always higher than the reward of acting with discipline. If you can truly get this one idea, it's the difference between building a fortune and just becoming another cautionary tale.
So, welcome. Our goal here at Bullion Signal is simple: to help you separate these timeless principles from all the daily noise. We cut right through the panic and the hype to deliver clarity. If you're looking for a deeper understanding of the forces that really shape our world and our wealth, well, go ahead and subscribe. We're here to help you build a more resilient mindset. So let's get right into it. A market crash, a sudden drop, a huge wave of liquidations. It's easy to see these events as just chaos. But what if they're not? What if they are actually moments of extreme clarity? Because when that stability we all take for granted suddenly vanishes, we don't just see the truth about the market, we see the truth about ourselves. Okay, so this is the first big idea we really need to wrap our heads around. Volatility isn't just random noise. It's the market's way of telling the truth. It just strips away all the illusions of control and reveals what the real foundations look like underneath. It's a test, really, and how you respond to that test, that determines everything. The market acts like a perfect, unflinching mirror. And what's so interesting here is how it frames these market cycles. In calm, rising markets, pretty much everyone looks like a genius, right? I mean, discipline is easy when every single decision seems to work out. But turbulence, well, that's the great revealer. It exposes who built their strategy on solid ground and who was just, crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. It separates the prepared from the pretenders with ruthless efficiency. So here's the bottom line. The market isn't doing something to you. It simply reflects the preparation, the discipline, or the recklessness that you're bringing to it. When things get tough, your true financial character gets put right on display for everyone to see. Understanding this, that's the very first step toward building a strategy that can actually withstand the storm.
Okay, let's dive into our first pillar. If the market is a mirror, then a crisis is when that mirror shows us the unvarnished, unfiltered truth. Most people think that fortunes are made in times of comfort and predictability. But if you look at history, it shows the complete opposite. The moments of greatest instability are precisely when the greatest transfers of wealth actually happen. Chaos isn't the enemy, it's the environment.
This just lays it out so perfectly. The two paths you can take in any crisis. The emotional crowd, they only see disaster. They retreat into panic and survival mode. But then you have the disciplined investor. Think Warren Buffett, think Ray Dalio. They see the exact same event, and they identify a discount. They see an opportunity to execute a strategy that they prepared for years in advance. Same event, totally different outcomes, all driven by mindset. Yeah, just let that one sink in for a second. Success isn't born when things are easy. It's forged in the pressure chamber of a crisis. This is where ordinary thinking gets compressed into extraordinary results. The stress of that moment, it forces a level of clarity and action that comfort could never, ever replicate. It's the real catalyst. It's what separates the dreamers from the builders. Okay, so what does this all mean for you, practically speaking? It means your work starts now, not when the crisis hits. Use the calm times to study history's market collapses. Think back to 2008, when banks were failing and fear was absolutely everywhere. The people who understood those patterns of fear and opportunity, they found the investments of a lifetime. So you have to train your mind to shift from survival to opportunity. While everyone else is complaining, you're the one quietly preparing. All right, on to pillar number 2. And this one's all about leverage, probably one of the most misunderstood forces in all of finance. Simply put, it's using borrowed money to increase your potential returns. But it is a massive double-edged sword. Most people see it as a tool to get rich quick, but that's just wrong. Leverage doesn't make you better or worse. It's really just a magnifier. It simply turns up the volume on the discipline or the recklessness that's already inside. And you can see the two faces of it right here. If you combine it with discipline, it can amplify a solid strategy and really accelerate your future. But combine it with recklessness, and it amplifies every single mistake, and it will destroy you faster than you can possibly imagine. Going back to those 41,000 traders, they didn't lose just because the market moved. No, they lost because leverage magnified their overconfidence and their lack of preparation.
And that's the absolute core truth of this pillar. Things like growth, or a big opportunity, or financial leverage, they don't build your character. They just reveal it, for better or for worse. If there are any weaknesses in your discipline, in your risk management, or your emotional control, believe me, leverage will find them and it will exploit them. It demands total honesty about who you are as an investor, right now.
So the big takeaway is that the real work has to happen before that opportunity shows up. The goal isn't to chase leverage, it's to become the kind of person who can handle it responsibly. That means you've got to strengthen your discipline long before you even think about increasing your risk. It means refining your habits before you chase scale. It means mastering your own self-control before you ever seek the kind of power that leverage provides. It's an internal job first.
All right, that brings us to pillar 3. And honestly, this is a huge mental shift for most people. We're all kind of taught to look for that one perfect prediction, right? The one right answer about what's coming next. But real, lasting wealth just isn't built that way. It's built on positioning. You cannot control the future, but you can absolutely control your behavior and your preparation today. I mean, just look at the difference here. The predictor, they're always chasing the next headline, the next hot tip, just hoping to make one lucky guess. Their success is incredibly fragile. But the positioner, they're building systems. They don't need to be right about tomorrow. They just need to be disciplined today. Their success compounds over years and years of consistent execution. It creates a foundation that's built to last. This is just such a powerful idea, isn't it? Opportunity is always out there, flowing around. The real question is, are you positioned to actually catch it? Your habits, your knowledge, your cash reserves, your network, all these things determine where you're standing. If you choose comfort over growth, you're just not in a place where opportunity can find you. And this is a really key part of any successful primary keyword strategy.
And this shows you positioning isn't some quick fix. It's a patient, long-term game. It's not one single decision, it's a whole journey. It starts with building up cash reserves when everyone else is spending. It means studying when others are distracted. It means having the patience to just wait for the right moment and then the discipline to execute your plan when that moment finally arrives. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So I want you to really think about this for a second. Forget about trying to guess what's going to happen next week. What is one concrete action you are taking this month to position yourself for opportunity? Maybe it's reading a specific book, setting up an automatic savings plan, or reaching out to one new person in your field. Drop it in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to see what you're all working on. All right, let's do a quick recap of this framework we've built so far. First, we learned to see a crisis not as a threat, but as the very environment where opportunity is born. Second, we understand that leverage is a revealer, a mirror that shows our true character under pressure. And third, we stop playing the impossible game of prediction, and we start playing the long game of positioning. So, these 3 pillars, they create a really powerful foundation. But there's a fourth and final pillar we have to talk about. And this one's different. It's the invisible force that governs all the others. It's that quiet, internal discipline that is behind every great fortune and every resilient life. Without mastering this last piece, the other 3 can just crumble under pressure. We're going to break down that final pillar in part 2 of this explainer. You know, the response to these deeper dives has just been incredible, so I want to thank everyone who's part of our growing Bullion Signal community. To make sure you do not miss the conclusion of this framework, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Because in part 2, we're not just going to reveal that fourth pillar, what I call the ultimate financial weapon. We are also going to lay out a practical, step-by-step playbook for the disciplined investor to turn all of this theory into concrete action. You really won't want to miss it. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you then.